Hello and welcome to your CMS training. Throughout the training I'm going to be referring to the front end of your website, which is the public view where any visitors can come and navigate your site, and then the back end of your website where you can log in and make changes. The way that we're going to get to the back end of your website is at the end of your URL you'll put /login up in the address bar, and then you will put in your username and password. And when you log in, you'll be brought to the dashboard on the back end of your website. And on your dashboard, this is where we're going to find all of your quick launch icons. We're going to go over most of these today. Anything that we don't cover today can be covered in a support call. You have 2 hours of support every single month. So if you just need a refresher on anything that you learned today or have questions about anything that you don't see today, please give us a call on our main support line, and we're more than happy to walk you through anything that you may need help with. The first thing that I want to show you today is your page list. So if we click on View Page List, this is going to bring up an alphabetical list of all of the pages in your system. So starting with About Us up here on the left, working our way down to New Page. Up above this blue bar in the center, we'll see that we have 22 total pages, and they're going to display 15 pages at a time. So if we want to get to our next set of pages, or the rest of the 22, we're going to toggle over with this arrow up above this blue bar, or click right on the numbers above the blue bar, and that'll take us back and forth between our pages and our page list. Throughout the training, you'll notice some common icons. One of them over on the left is a light bulb. If you click on a light bulb, you'll see that the light goes out. And if you click on the light bulb again, the light will come right back on. And all that does is show or hide content on your site. That just means if you want to take something down off of your site so that it's not in the public view, you can toggle that light bulb off, and it will remove it from your site. Over on the right-hand side, you have an orange X. And if you click on the orange X, which is a delete this page or delete this item icon, you'll be prompted with a message that asks, are you sure you wish to delete this page or item permanently? Once you click OK, that information is going to be gone forever. So anytime you're trying to take something off of your site, we always recommend that you just turn that light bulb off over on the left. Next to the orange X is an Edit This Page icon, and that's going to allow you to go in and edit a page or an item that's already been created, and we'll go over that in a few minutes. And then up above your page list on the left, you also have a filter box where you can type in the name or partial name of a page, click Filter, and it will filter out your list with whatever you search for in that page filter box. That way you don't have to sift through a long list of pages just to find one specific page that you want to edit as your page list grows. When you're ready to get back to your full page list, if you clear whatever's in that box and click Filter again, it'll bring you back to your full page list. The next thing that we're going to do is add a brand new page. So down on the bottom left, we're going to select Add New Page. And the first thing that we're going to have to do is name our page. So we're going to call this one Test Page 1 and save and continue. And then up on the top, we want to select Content Editor. And this is going to be our WYSIWYG editor, and that just stands for what you see is what you get. And that just means you can type content in this window, and it's going to show up like this on your web page. You can also copy and paste content in this window. So let's say you have all of your content typed out in a Word document or in an email. You can go copy it from that source and paste it right here in this box. And anytime you try to paste, it's going to bring up this paste from external window, or paste from external source window rather. This is going to strip out any formatting, any fonts or characters that aren't safe for the web, and when you click Insert, it will insert your text for you on your page as plain text. Once it's in your editor, then you're free to go through and use the basic word style editor tools like bold, italicize, underline. You can change font color, highlight text. You can change the alignment to left, center, right, justified. You can add numbered lists and bulleted lists, etc. Then you also have some advanced tools where you can change the font size. You can change the actual font from the default to any one of these web-safe fonts. And then you also have, under this normal drop-down, heading styles. You have 6 heading styles defined for you in your template, and you'll see that they probably get smaller as they descend the list. And they may look a little bit differently on your personal website. And those heading styles, again, are defined by our designers in your template. And the way that we're going to change any of our text to those heading styles is highlight our text and go select the heading style that we wish to change to. We always tell people to think of your website kind of like a news article. Each page is like a news article. You want a headline at the top of the page to introduce the following text to your readers. And in the system, that's going to be called heading 1 style. The rest of the headings, headings 2 through 6, would be used for breaking up large blocks of content. So if you wanted to create a subsection of content, section 2 we'll call it, we're going to select the heading 2 or heading 3 style from the list that we find appropriate and change our subheading to that heading. As we're editing, we've got 3 tabs below our editor window. We've got the Design tab, which is where we are right now, making changes to the content on our page. Next to that, we have the Source tab, which is going to show us our HTML code for each one of our pages. And next to that, you have a Preview tab. And the Preview tab is going to show you what your page is going to look like when it's live on your site with all the other modules and menu items turned on. And obviously, this is in a small view, so if we want to make this window a little bit larger, up in the top left corner, we can select Full Window View. And that's going to open up our preview in a full window view. What I've highlighted here in blue is going to be the actual content of your page. Over on the right, we've got some modules turned on. Down on the bottom, we have a footer module. Up on the top, our menu even lives in a module as well. So anytime you're creating or editing a page, you're going to be editing this large content area on the center or left or right of your website, depending on which modules you have turned on. When we're ready to get back out of this window and save our changes, we can click right on that same full window icon. It's going to bring us back to our smaller editor window. And then down in the bottom right corner, we've got 3 buttons. We've got Save and Close, which is going to save all of our changes and close our window out. So let's do that right now. I clicked on Save and Close. Again, it closed my window out, but it saved all of my changes. So if I want to go back in and make more changes to that page, I'm going to go to the Edit This Page icon, right back to our Content Editor tab, and that's going to bring us back to our WYSIWYG editor. Next to Save and Close, you have an Apply button, and what that's going to do is save all of your changes. So let's say we wanted to underline this and then hit Apply. That's going to save all of our changes, but it leaves our editor window open so we can make more changes to our page. And next to Apply, you have the Close button. And Close isn't going to save anything. It's just going to revert it back to the previously saved version. So let's go in, say we go in and we want to make an edit to our page, and we highlight some text that we're going to change, and we accidentally delete it. If we hit Close and then open that page right back up to Edit, we're going to see that all of our content is still there. Again, it reverts it back to the previously saved version. So Close does not save anything, but Save and Close and Apply both are save buttons. I'm going to open this up into a full window view now, so we have a little bit more room to work with. And the next thing that I'm going to do is show you how to create a link. And to create a link in the system, first we need some text to link from. So I'm just going to type in some text. It says click here. And there's going to be 3 ways to create links. You can link to an internal source, so a page that already exists in your system. You can link to an external source, so someone else's website, or you can link to a document, like a PDF or a Word document, for example. First couple of steps in each process is going to be the same. First, you'll highlight your text. Then you'll go up to the Insert Edit Hyperlink icon. And that's going to open up your link window. So over on the left, we're going to choose where we want to link to. In the first case, we're going to link to a page on this site. So page on this site will be selected on the left at the top of our list. And then in the center, we'll have a list of all of the pages in our system. So we're just going to scroll down until we find the page that we want to link to. And in this case, it's going to be the Contact Us page. So I select the Contact Us page from our list. And over on the right, we'll get a preview of that page. And then up in the SEO text line, we always want to reflect where we're linking to. In this case, it's Contact Us. So that's what we put up in the SEO text line for search engines. And if we click Insert, now when someone clicks on Click Here, it will take them right over to our Contact Us page. Second way to link is going to be to an external source. So I'm going to highlight my text, go back up to Insert, Edit Hyperlink. And this time over on the left, I'm going to select Web Location. That just means that we're going to be able to type in or paste in a full URL of our desired link destination. So I'm just going to type in a generic website.com. And the only difference in opening an external source is in the Open In dropdown, we always want to select external sources to open in a new window. And that just ensures that you're keeping as much traffic on your own website as possible. That way, if someone clicks on this link, it takes them to someone else's website. It'll be open in a new window. That way, if they X out of that site, your website's still open in the background. Then again, we're going to change our SEO text up here to reflect where we're linking to. I'm just going to put in the generic website address and click Apply. And now when someone clicks on Click Here, it will take them over to whatever website address you provide in that URL line. The third way to link is going to be to a document. So again, we're going to highlight our text, go back up to Insert, Edit Hyperlink. And this time over on the left, we're going to select Documents. And this will bring up our Documents directory. And right now we just have these 2 documents in here. We can upload as many documents as we want for the life of our system by going to Upload. And you can upload up to 20 documents at a time. Just going to drag this window out a little bit so we can see all those browse icons. You're going to go on your computer, browse for the document that you want to upload. In this case, it's going to be this test document. And we're going to click Upload. And our new document will appear in our directory in alphabetical order according to file name. And when we find the document that we want to link to, we're going to select it from our list. Make sure that it opens in a new window because we always want to treat documents like an external source. And then again, in the SEO text line, we're going to reflect where we're linking to. In this case, it's a test document. So I'm just going to put test doc up there. And then click Apply. And now when someone clicks on Click Here, it's going to open up that test document for them in a brand new window. So they can save it to their computer or print it or whatever your intention was for them. The next thing that we're going to do is insert a photo on our page. So I just entered down to a new line to give myself a little bit of space. And we're going to go up to the Insert Edit Image icon. And when we click on that, that's going to bring up our images directory. And just like our documents directory, this is going to be a list of all of our photos that are in our system in alphabetical order according to file name. And we're going to be able to upload as many photos as we want into our system. You also have these folders, which are subdirectories, and these are for keeping your photos organized. So you may want to create folders based on the page name or subject matter. It's up to you. Whenever you're creating a new folder, again, to keep your photos organized, the only thing that we ask you to pay attention to is the file name that you're creating for your folder. You never want to leave any spaces in your file name or your directory name. You always want to fill those spaces in with an underscore or a hyphen. So, for example, if you were creating a test folder called test folder, you would want to fill in the space between the 2 words with an underscore. You can create as many subdirectories as you want into your system as well to keep those photos organized. Again, to upload a photo, it's just like uploading a document. You're going to go to Upload. You can upload up to 20 photos at a time. And just going to go to Browse. You'll find the photo that you want to upload. And again, click Upload. Your new photo will be added to your system, and I'm just going to change the file name real quick to fill in these spaces in our photo file name. And then I'm going to click OK. And when we're ready to insert our photo onto our page, we're going to select it from our Documents directory, click Insert, and it will be inserted on our page for us. Once it's on our page, we're not stuck with wherever we put it. We can actually take that picture, drag it around. So if we wanted to move it up here to the top of the paragraph, then we can select our image by clicking on it once, and we'll see these white boxes appear around the perimeter of our photo. That's how we know it's selected. We can go back up to the Insert Edit Image icon, and we'll see the property of our photos underneath, so the width and height. And then over on the right, we'll see a positioning preview. So right now, in our editor, it looks just like this, our photo with the text at the bottom right corner. We can actually float this image left and then add 10 pixels of margin on the right, and we'll see that that text moves up to wrap around the image, and it gets pushed away from the image with that margin. And if we apply those changes, we'll see that those changes are reflected right in our editor. So it's very easy once a photo has been inserted on your page to move it around and manipulate it to look exactly how you want it on your site. I'm going to jump out of this full window view. I'm going to apply those changes so we can refer to them later. And I'm going to go over to the Search Engines tab. And under the Search Engines tab, this is where you have the ability to optimize each one of your pages to rank higher in search engine results. You've got 3 key areas that you can edit. You have a custom page title, and the custom page title is going to be the most important part of SEO as far as your editor is concerned. It's the first thing that search engines see when they crawl your site. Your page title is displayed up here in the tab. So if you hover over your tab, you'll be able to see the full page title. In this case, it's Florencia Salon and Spa. And whatever you put in that custom title box, that's what's going to show up in your tab. Again, you want to use your things like your business name, keywords or key phrases, and possibly a location for your website. Below that, you have a custom keywords box, and this is going to be a list of keywords or key phrases. For example, keyword 1, keyword 2, and they're just going to be listed in order and separated by comma. You can put as many keywords or key phrases in this box as you want. We usually recommend between 8 and 10. And the thing to keep in mind with your keywords, whatever you're adding to this box, you also want those keywords or key phrases to show up in the actual content of your page. The way search engines crawl your page, they'll see the words listed in the back end of your website in this keywords box, and then they'll try to match them up with any of the phrases or words on the front end of that exact page. If they find a few matches, you get a little bit more search engine, you get a little more credit in search engine results for those specific keywords or terms. So having an even balance between what you're optimizing for in the back end and what you're actually using in your content on the front end is key. And the third box is going to be for a custom description. And this is just going to be a very concise one-sentence summary of whatever this page is offering. So again, you would want to use something like your business name, a couple of keywords or key phrases, and then possibly a location. Florencia Salon and Spa offers spa packages for New York City is an example of a concise meta description for your site. Again, these are just the basic tools to get you guys started with search engine optimization for your pages. Each one of these page titles, keywords, and meta descriptions are going to be unique for your page. So, unique for each page. So just because you optimize one page doesn't mean that any of your other pages are optimized. You want to do this on a page-by-page basis. These are the tools to get you started. They are powerful tools, and if they are utilized correctly, they can help you rank higher in search engine results for your key terms. We do also offer a lot of other key search engine optimization services, so you can contact your account manager about any of those other services if you're interested in more in-depth SEO services as well. I'm going to save and close our page that we created, our test page, and I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And the next thing that we're going to go over is our menu manager. So we created a page, and now we want to give our visitors a way to navigate to that page. So if we go to our menu manager, and click right on main menu, we'll see all of our main menu items over here on the right. And each one of those main menu items has a light bulb, and they also have an orange X, just like we saw on our page list, and an edit the item icon as well, so you can go in and make changes to any of those menu items. And then they also have these blue arrows, and the blue arrows allow you to change the order in which your menu items display. So for example, if we wanted contact to be before jobs, what we could do is move it up with in the list with the blue arrows. If we go back to the front end and refresh, we're going to see that contact moved before jobs in our list. So the way that our menu items are listed top to bottom in the back end of our site is the way that they'll be listed left to right on the front end of our site. So again, I'm just going to move contact back down, go back and refresh on the front end, and we'll see that contact jumps back behind jobs. So let's add a new menu item for our test page. So we're going to go down in the bottom and click the Add New Menu Item button. And there's going to be 4 steps to creating a menu item. You're going to add a name, caption, parent, and link. The name and the caption can be the same thing. The name is just going to show up in the back end in your list. The caption is actually going to show up on the front end of your site, and that's what the actual menu item is going to say. So let's just call it test. And if we tab down, the caption will generate automatically for us. And the parent is the next step. That's going to be where we want this menu item to show up. If the parent is the main menu, that means that this is going to become a main menu item and show up right here on our top bar. If the parent is set as anything else, this menu item will then become a drop-down menu item or a sub-menu item, just like this new page or any of these services that we're offering under Salon. Those are all sub-menu items of Salon. So the parent of that would have been Salon. So we're just going to leave this as main menu right now, and then we can always go back in and change it if we decide that we want that to show up someplace else. And then the last and most important step is going to be link. And this is where you want this menu item to link. So you're creating a menu item that says test, and you want it to link over to a specific page. In this case, it's the test page. So we're going to go to Select Page. And then from our drop-down, we want to go to Content Pages. And then I'm going to use the page filter to search for our test page. Select the icon to the left of that. And our new PF link code is going to get thrown in there. And now if we save our item, we'll see our test menu item at the end of our list. And we can go visit that page on the front end. So we see our test menu item. If we click on that, it goes to the test page that we created because that's where we told it to link to. And now let's go back in and say we want test to show up under events, for example. So we're just going to go in to edit the item, and we're going to change the parent from main menu to events. We're just going to select that. Now the parent will be events, and if we save our item, test will disappear from the bottom of our menu list, and it will now show up under events. So this became a sub-menu item of that parent. If we go back and refresh on the front end, you'll see test disappear from our main menu, and it will now live under events as a sub-menu item. So it's very easy once you have a menu item created to move it around on your site to reflect the changes that you want. So we're going to save that item back to the main menu list so that we can have it on our main menu to reference later. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and the next thing that we're going to go over is your module manager. So if we go to Edit Modules, this is going to bring up a list of all the modules on your site. And unlike the page list, your modules are going to be listed grouped together by position rather than in alphabetical order. So every website is different as far as module positions go. And familiarizing yourself with those module positions is going to be the first step to understanding how modules work. Modules in our system are defined as dynamic blocks of content that you can move around your site, and that just means that you can have a module show up on one page and be hidden on every other page, or vice versa. You get to decide which pages they display on. On our demo site, if we go back to our home page, we talked about our content area, which is here that I'm highlighting in blue, and then everything that lives outside of that is actually in a module. So we have a right-hand column where right modules live. We have a footer position where footer modules would live down here. We have a banner position where we can put flash pieces or our owner of our salon here on the top right. And then we actually have a menu module position where our menu lives. So your website is really broken up into different positions that all fit together kind of like a puzzle, and those modules are going to be those other puzzle pieces in which you can plug in information. The other half to understanding modules is understanding the types of modules that you can add within those positions. In this example, you're going to see a lot of static content modules, and static content modules are going to allow you to add any type of information you want, the same type of information that you could add to a page. You can add standard text, links, photos, videos, again, anything that you could add to a normal content page. So in this example, we're going to add a new module by clicking on the Add New Module button down here on the bottom left. And the first step is to select the type of module that you want to add. Again, you have a lot of different types of modules that you can add, and under each one, you'll have a brief explanation of what that module does. And if you ever run into a case where you're not sure what kind of module you should add for specific content, you can always give us a call on our support line again, and that's something that we can step you through very quickly over the phone. In this case, we're going to add a static content module, so I'm going to select that from the list. The first thing I want to do is name my module. So I'm going to call this one New Test Module. And for the position, I'm going to have this show up in the Content Right position because I want that to show up over on the right-hand side. And for the theme, I'm just going to leave this as the default theme, and then I'm going to click Add and Configure. So now our container where our information can live has been created, and now we just have to decide if we want a module title to show up, and we'll say that we do, so we'll put in the generic module title here. If we don't want the module title to display above our module, we can always hide it by checking that box. But we do want it displayed, so we're going to leave module title in there. And we're going to go to the Details tab, and this is where you can add content to your module. So you can type right in here. You can add some more text, so let's just add a bunch of text here very quickly. I'm just going to paste some in so we can see what that module is going to look like. We can format our text, so let's do a little formatting. We can even add a photo if we want to. Let's just add this guy. Click Insert. So now that we've got all of our information that we want in our module, the next step is to go to the Visibility tab. And this is where we get to tell our module which pages to show up on. So by default, this module is visible on every page. Then we can exclude the 1 or 2 pages that we don't want this module to show up on. In this case, however, we're going to set the module to be hidden on every page and then just include the one test page that we created. So again, I'm just going to search for that in our list with our page filter. I'm going to select the test page from our list, and then I'm going to save and close our module. Now, the last step to making a module on your website is to actually make it live. So what we have to do is turn that light bulb on. And now if we go back to the front end, since we're on our home page, if we refresh, we won't see that module show up because we set the rule for that module to be hidden on every page by default except for our test page. So if we want to see what that module is going to look like, we need to go to our test page. So we'll navigate there from our menu item that we created. And now we'll see our module that we created right over here on the right. Now let's say we wanted to change the position of that module within this right-hand position. We can move it up our list just like we could a menu item with these blue arrows by walking it up. And we're just going to position it in the back end at the top of that right module position. And now if we refresh, we'll see that that test module then moves up to the top of that right-hand column above all of our other information. So once a module has been added to a position, it's very easy to move it around within that position, or you can go in and actually change the content or the position that that shows up in once it's been created. Again, if you have any questions on modules going forward, you can always give us a call on the support line, and we'd be more than happy to step you through that. The next thing that we're going to go over is your event manager. So if we select event manager from our dashboard, this is going to bring up a list of all of our upcoming events. So on the front end, let's take a look at our calendar. We're going to have a list view and a month view. So if we select month view, it's just going to look like a standard calendar on our website. And right now we just have one event in there. So if we're ready to add another event, we're going to go into the back end and click on Add New Event down in the bottom left. And then we're just going to step through these tabs and add the information that will be important to our visitors. So under the first General tab, we're going to add an event title. So we're going to call it Our Event. And for the quick description, or the teaser, we'll just say this is our first annual event. And then for the when, this is when this event will take place. So if it's a full day event, we can select the Yes radio button for full day event, and we'll see that the timestamp over here disappears, and then we just have to add a start and end date. If it's not a full day event, we're going to have to add a time. So let's say that this event starts on Friday the 10th, and it ends Friday the 10th, and it's going to go from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. The next step is to add a location. So where does this event take place? Let's just say at our office. Below that, you can add a link for a Google map or MapQuest, whatever your preference is, to help your visitors find that address. Under our description tab, we'll see a full WYSIWYG editor where we can add full event details. So let's say this is our first event. It's free and open to the public. Please bring your friends. And we'll bold free so that stands out. Once you've added all of your event details, you also have the Search Engines tab where you can optimize your events just like you can optimize your pages. And then the Registration tab, which we're not going to go over today, but it can be covered in a support call, again, allows you two different types of registration. You can do basic registration, which allows you to fill out a form so visitors can RSVP for an event ahead of time, or you can do advanced registration through our e-commerce system, which allows ticketed events. So someone could go on your site, purchase a ticket for an event in advance, pay for it through the system, and show up on the day of the event with a ticket that they print out. If you're interested in advanced registration, again, you can contact your account manager and they can let you know the process for adding that. Once you've gone through all of your tabs and added the information that's important to your visitors, you're going to save your event. You'll see your event added to your list. And if we go back to the front end and refresh our page, we're going to see our new event show up. If we hover over, we'll see that it takes place Friday, February 10th from 8 to 10. And if we select that, we'll see some of our event details that we created. So we see our title with our timestamp and location. So again, Friday, February 10th from 8 to 10, our location at our office. And then we have our teaser text. This is our first annual event. And then our full description that we added. Below our full description, there's also a link for Save Event to your calendar. So if I'm a visitor and I'm viewing this event for the first time and I want a reminder for myself, I can save this event to my own personal calendar. Or below that, I can email this to a friend. So if I know that one of my friends may be interested, I could type in their email address here, click Send Event, and it will send them a link back to this website to the full description of the event so that they can view that themselves. I'm going to go back to the home page on the front. And the next thing that we're going to go over in the back end of your site is the News Manager. And with the News Manager, you're able to add press releases on your own website in a news article list. So let's visit the News Manager on the front end so we can see what that looks like. And right now we have 2 news articles in our news list, and this page is dynamic, and that just means that as you add news articles to your News Manager in the back end to this list, your page will update automatically with your new news articles. So let's add a new news article by clicking on Add News Article down in the bottom left corner. And again, you're just going to walk through these tabs and add the information that's going to be important for your visitors. For the title, this is the title of your article, so let's call this one Article Test. You can add a subtitle to that article if you wish. The author information with user selected, that's going to add the author for whatever user is signed in. So whatever that username is. If you specify the name for the author, then you can type in a person's full name. So if you, you'll see in a second when we go to the front end, when we add this news article, it's going to be by the system because I'm logged in as an admin or the system. So if I wanted to specify my full name as the author, I would check the specify name box and then type in the full name in the author box. But I'm going to leave it as user right now. And then down below that you have location source and location source link. Location source is going to be, so let's say a local publication writes a news article about you guys and you want to paraphrase that article and release this as your own press release. Location source would be the name of the local publication, and the location source link would then be a link over to that organization's full news article about you on their website. Under the Content tab, we're going to add our news article. So let's add some introduction text. So this is usually just the first line of your news article. So you can just copy and paste that in there. And then if you have your news article already typed out, you can copy and paste that in your full content window as well. So we'll just say, we're just going to paste in some generic text here to fill this in. Insert that, and you're going to see a watered down version of our editor where you can just add bold, italicize, and underline. You can justify your text, right, left, center, justify it rather, align your text. You can add numbered lists and bulleted lists, and then you can also add photos and links to your news articles as well. You also have a search engines tab where you can optimize each one of your articles, just like your pages and events. You have a related articles tab, which allows you to go in and reference old articles that you've written. So you can set up a module with related articles, so when someone is viewing one specific article, you can reference an article that was written the previous week or month that may have to do with the same subject matter. And then you also have a schedule tab, which comes in really handy for news articles. So let's say you have 5 press releases that you want to add to your website, and you have time Monday to go in and add those press releases. You don't want them to show up all at once on your website to overwhelm your readers. So you can actually future date your news articles by selecting the date that you want it to show up on your site and then selecting a specific time. And what this is going to do when you save your article, it will hold this article until this specific date and time, and then once that specific date and time hits, your system will auto-publish that to your site and it will show up on your news page. If you don't specify a date and time, this is going to publish at the current date and time. So that's what we're going to do right now, and we're going to save this article. Our new article has been added to our list in the back end, and if we refresh, we'll see our new article added at the top, and we'll see our teaser text, the first line of your news article. We'll see our timestamp, February 1st at 11:58, and if we read the entire article, we'll see our entire article in here. I'm going to go back to the dashboard in the back end. And the last thing that we're going to go over today is the Showcase Manager. And under the Showcase Manager, you have the ability to add testimonials, portfolio pieces, and case studies. In this example, we're going to go over testimonials. But all of these pieces, the portfolio pieces, case studies, testimonials, etc., all work exactly the same way. They just each have their own component. So let's go back, and we're going to show our showcase pieces, and we're going to go to our testimonials page. And again, each component has its own page. So in this case, we have our testimonials page, and we're going to see a giant pull quote. We're going to see in just a second where to add that giant pull quote. Over on the right, you may have noticed we also have a testimonials module, and just like the testimonials module, any of our components have the ability to incorporate a module. So you could set up an events module where upcoming events would display, a news module where the latest news articles would display. Same goes for portfolio pieces and case studies as well. If you have any questions on that, you can always give us a call on our support line, and we're more than happy to show you that on a support call as well. So let's go back to our testimonial manager, and let's add a new testimonial. So down in the bottom left, I'm going to click Add Testimonial. And then just like our News Manager and our Event Manager, I'm going to fill out the tabs that would be important to our readers. So under the General tab, this is going to be our new testimonial. So we're going to call this one John Doe. For the company name, we'll say ABC Company, just a generic company. The person name, again, John Doe. Their job title, let's say he's the president of the ABC Company. Then you can set it a recorded on date. So let's say this was recorded on January 2nd. And the more info URL is going to allow you to add a link over to the person who gave the testimonials website. Under content, the quick quote or the teaser, that's going to be your giant pull quote that displays on the front end here. So you want this to be the best quote of your testimonial. So you want to pull that out, and you'll paste that right in the quick quote box. And I'll just say, you guys are the greatest. Seems like a good quick quote. And then under content, this is where our full testimonial will go. And again, I'm just going to paste in some generic text so I can see where that shows up. Click Insert. And you have the basic editor tools that we had in our News Manager as well. You have a Schedule tab where you can future date or backdate your testimonials. And then you have a Search Engines tab, of course, where you can optimize your testimonials as well. So let's save that in our list. Click OK. And our new testimonial has been added to our list. And let's go back to our testimonials, refresh our page, and we'll see our testimonial here from the ABC Company, our giant pull quote, our person who gave us the testimonial and their title. And then if we read the full testimonial, we'll see, again, the giant pull quote up above, and then the full testimonial with their identification stamp down in the bottom right. Just going to go back to the home page right now, and then back to the dashboard in the back end as well. So that is going to complete the basic CMS training. Again, if you guys have any questions, for us outside of the training, you can always give us a call on our support line or contact your account manager for more help or for adding more components to your website. Each one of you should receive your CMS manuals as well via email, as well as your login credentials, which will include your username, a generic password, and then instructions on how to log in and change that password to something that's easier for you to remember. Again, if you have any questions going forward, please don't hesitate to contact us via our support line, and thank you again for your time.